All right, welcome to The Explainer. You've seen it on every food label, right? Calories, kcals, carbs. What's the actual difference? Well, if you've ever felt a little confused by it all, you are definitely not alone. And in the next few minutes, we're going to clear all of that up for good.
Seriously, this is probably one of the most common mix-ups in all of nutrition. But stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to be reading those food labels with total confidence. It's way simpler than you think. So let's just dive right in. What is the real story here? Are these words just different names for the same thing? Or is one a part of the other? We're about to solve this puzzle, piece by piece, in a way that's finally going to click.
Okay, part one. Let's start with the word you see absolutely everywhere, the calorie. We're going to crack this code once and for all.
So here's the first big secret. The word calorie that you see on your snack wrapper, it's actually just shorthand for kilocalorie, or kcal for short. Think of it like this. A kilometer is 1,000 meters, right? Well, a kilocalorie is 1,000 tiny little calories that scientists use in a lab. It's just a much more convenient way to measure the energy in the food we eat.
So what this means is when a food label says something has 200 calories, what it technically means is 200 kilocalories. But for you, reading that label, it's the exact same number. It's a simple one-for-one swap, no math needed.
And that's it. The big takeaway for this first part is just this simple rule. When you see calorie on a label, it means the exact same thing as kilocal. So you can basically use the words interchangeably. Easy, right? Okay, so if calories and kcals are just the unit of measurement, then what are we actually measuring? That brings us to part two, the actual fuel. And this is where things get really clear. A calorie is just a number, a measurement. But a carbohydrate, well, a carb is a thing. It's a real physical nutrient that you eat. You can think of carbs as one of the main types of gasoline for your body, along with protein and fat.
You know what? Here's an even better way to think about it. Imagine you have a fireplace. The fuel sources you eat, the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, they're like the logs of wood you put into that fire.
And if the carbs are the wood, then the calories are the heat that the wood gives off when it burns. See? It's that simple. The wood is the fuel source, and the heat is the energy it produces. You can't have the heat without the wood.
Okay, so we've got our fuel, the wood, and we've got our energy, the heat. But how are they actually connected? Well, it turns out there's a really simple formula that ties this whole thing together.
This is the final piece of the puzzle, the little bit of magic that connects the food you eat to the energy you get from it.
Here it is. For every single gram of carbohydrates you eat, your body gets exactly 4 kilocalories of energy. It's a fixed number. And you know what? It's the same for protein too, 4 kcals per gram. Fat's a little different. It's more energy-packed, giving you 9 kcals for every gram.
So let's see how this works in the real world. A banana has about 27 grams of carbs. You just multiply that by 4 and you get 108 kilocalories. Simple. But, and this is super important, a food's total calorie count comes from adding up the energy from all 3 sources, the carbs, the protein, and the fat. This little formula is the key to understanding that entire nutrition label. So, okay, that's the science. But why does any of this actually matter in your day-to-day life? Well, because knowing this stuff actually empowers you to make smarter choices every single day. Look, this isn't just trivia. It's a practical tool. It means you can look at a plate of food and not just see ingredients, but see the fuel. It lets you glance at a label and know exactly what you're putting into your body. You're basically becoming a pro at understanding your own energy needs. And here's the bottom line. At the end of the day, managing your weight is really about balancing the total energy, the kilocalories, that you take in with the energy you burn. By seeing how carbs, fats, and proteins all add up to that total energy number, you can be so much more mindful and in control of your choices. So let's just recap this whole thing one last time. It's 3 simple steps. Step 1, calories are just a measurement of energy. Step 2, carbs are a type of fuel. And step 3, the fuel is what provides the energy. That's it. That's the entire story. And so that brings us to the final question. Now that you can clearly see the difference between the fuel itself and the energy it provides, it kind of changes how you look at food, doesn't it? So what are you going to choose to power your day?